I guess we just do a cold start then.
Yeah, cold start.
Okay, hey guys, how you doing? Ooh, let me move that mic a little closer, I guess. Nice, there we go. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Wano Report number 13. I think
we're
not good with
12.
Is it 12?
Okay,
Is
maybe
it
no,
12?
yeah.
Maybe it's 12.
I swear I just labeled it. All right, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's possible. Yeah, maybe it's number. Welcome to the Wano Report. 3, 2, no. Okay.
All right, no, we got to start over. Never mind. Just
No, it's fine. We'll leave
right.
that in. Yeah, today will be a little bit shorter episode because Morj and I are both guests at the Red Force podcast in a bit. But we still thought, since we had such a good streak with the Wano Report, we want to keep this up a little bit longer. So we're gonna have 30 minutes. So something for you guys to listen to at the beginning of the week. How you doing, Morj?
I'm
did
good.
you like?
I'm good.
The Wano chapter.
The Wano chapter, connecting it nicely to the Wano Report. Wano chapter, dude, it was good. I think a lot of people really wanted us to keep up that streak of, outside world chapters, and I kind of, in my heart of hearts, I did as well. But
Right.
I think it was a really strong start to Act 3, because, everything that's going on with the latter half of the chapter with Kinemon and the gang basically in front of that stormy sea and everything. I think it did a good job setting the tone for Act 3, so it's kind of a rocky start right off the bat and kind of setting the atmosphere and tone and everything pretty well right away. What you think?
That was pretty nice. I think it's nice that we get to digest a little bit what happened, because while I was really in love with the last couple of chapters we got, I feel like since every chapter was... Oh, by the way, just a quick heads up for this podcast, I'm really going to try to pay attention to my likes.
Oh, yeah. I'm now consciously trying to do that as well.
So yeah, please call me out if I do it, and if Morj forgets, please call me out in the comments for it. I'm really going to try to improve that.
Yeah, up till now, I think, I've just been very casual when speaking in the podcast. I don't think about trying to choose my words or anything like that, because in my mind, it's a casual podcast. But this is content that a lot of people want to see, so...
for sure.
Yeah.
I just recent. Oh, there we go. That was a like. I recently paid attention when I was talking to another friend of mine, and I was trying to see how much I say like in a casual conversation, and I actually didn't say it that often as I do it in this podcast for some reason. So I'm not sure if it's the pressure of. There was a like in there.
Oh yeah,
this is
dude. I didn't even catch it because it's so ingrained. I don't even notice it now.
Okay, well, back to the topic. Yeah, I think it's really good to be able to digest everything. I'm also not that mad that we have a break next week.
Oh, I was mad when we had a break because I didn't I get mad when, not mad, but you know what I mean, when I don't notice it the first time. So I finish the chapter and I'm excited. So I'm thinking, awesome. Okay, next week we find out. Then later on, somebody mentions to me, oh no, One Piece next week, and I'm thinking, what are you talking? What? Then I get a little. Then I get mad.
I hate that too. Yeah, I get that. But yeah, I mean, I'm always it's always kind of boring if you have to wait 2 weeks. Oh, there was a like. Sure. Okay, I'm not gonna call it out, but
yeah, don't. That's too much.
that's gonna go down a bad road. But yeah, I still think that it's good to take the 2 weeks and theorize a bit on that. So that's gonna be fun, I think. And do you are you happy that we're back in Wano, or would you
internet?
have to see?
Sorry, my internet might have froze for a second. Yeah, continue.
Oh yeah, would you like to have seen something more of the outgoings around Wano, or are you happy that we're back in the country?
Dude, well, okay, yeah. I mean, normally I would. It's mixed because when Oda switches from one place to another, usually whatever's going on in that place is interesting enough that we want to stay there. So I remember when we were in the Reverie and then we switched to Wano, there was a kind of knee-jerk, oh man, but I still want to see more of the Reverie, but we were excited to be in Wano, so people accepted it and went with the flow. And then I think at the end of Act 2, I remember people were really excited by the last chapter of Act 2. So we wanted to see the final battle start, and then Oda cut away. And then people were there was a knee-jerk reaction to that, but then people actually enjoyed that chapter a lot too. And now we're switching back, so again, there's this sort of knee-jerk, it just keeps going back and forth. So I think as soon as we start getting little ways underway with Act 3, I think I'll be totally fine with the fact that we're skipping the outside world stuff. But I think we're going to get that stuff back soon. I think we're still going to see how all of that stuff
yeah,
plays
for
out
sure.
and it's going to come back.
I don't know about you, but it kind of like it kind of felt like forever that we've been to Wano. Like
that we had been back in Wano.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
So since you guys can't see that, I'm like, I'm literally biting my tongue every time.
Maybe I'll just give a signal. Maybe you don't say anything, but you can see me, so I'll give you a signal, and then they won't.
Oh my god, this is difficult. We'll work on that together.
Yeah,
but yeah, it felt forever since we had the last Wano chapter, for sure. So even though it was just 2 chapters in between, so much happened there, and like with the Rocks Pirates and what we had the chapter before. So just being back now and like really going into that final arc and into the battle, that's pretty exciting, I think.
Yeah, dude. The one thing with this chapter is that it's hard to actually. It ended on an exciting note because we want to know what the hell the incident was that occurred, but I think it's hard to actually. Lots of times, I think lots of really good theories sort of come out from these sort of cliffhanger type chapters where we know something occurred and we have some pieces to work off of. But I actually haven't seen. I think it's legitimately hard to make a good theory about the incident that occurred. I think it's really, really up in the air. And I haven't seen...
It is.
I saw one good one that maybe I'll share. It's not mine. But I want to hear what... Wait, do you have anything?
I don't have any ideas. The only thing that I picked up in the chapter was that I thought that I saw Nami, Robin, and Usopp in the chapter.
Really?
But
what?
then I asked people if it was just me, because like it was drawn so ambiguously.
What
you
were
remember?
they doing
There's like this one panel where there's like these 2 girls getting ready for the parade.
Is that Nami and Usopp?
So
these 2 girls.
So the girl really it's like the girl is drawn in a way that it could be Nami, but it doesn't have to be her. And then there's like a girl at the door that could be Robin, but doesn't have to be her. Later in the chapter though, there's a guy standing on the wagon in the parade that has to be Usopp because he has the hair. Your internet? Yeah, but he has the hair.
I got you back.
Perfect. And the nose and everything. I'm like, okay, that kind of can't be like, why would Oda draw someone that looks this much like Usopp? So
no, that makes sense. I just don't think that he would have slipped those characters into the background.
Well, my thought was like either I'm wrong about it, or the alternative to it is that
it is
that this. Yeah, it is Usopp, and maybe they used the wagon to like get the prisoners out of the capital.
Yes.
So that would be an option, I guess.
That is very possible because there's 2 like that is a big hanging thread, obviously, that there's no that those guys are still stuck in the prison and everything like that, and also Kyoshiro is still in the capital, so it's possible that there's some action that's going to go down there. It was a very confusing
chapter in general, don't you think?
It was, I think, intentionally so, because he doesn't want us to solve this, obviously. There is one thing that I wanted to... I'm trying to find it on Reddit because I want to credit the person. This is not my theory. I just thought it's a really interesting theory, and I kind of want to... Well, it was on the front page of Reddit, so I assume if you were on Reddit and you saw it, then you saw it. But I do want to credit the person for it. But okay, I'll throw this out. Tell me what you think about this. And I'll cite the guy if I find him.
Yep.
Or girl, who knows. But basically somebody said that since, one, it looks like there's no signs of pillaging or anything like that happened. Oh, my battery's low. No signs of pillaging or anything like that's happened at the port that we can see. There's no destruction. It doesn't look like Kaido just swooped in and destroyed everybody. And there is that one boat still there. And it's possible... So people are saying that it's possible that Law had figured out from his interaction with Hawkins, he had made Hawkins reveal that there was a traitor. And so Law kind of double-crossed, outwitted Orochi basically by deliberately... Yeah, you know where this is going.
He counteracted the counteraction, basically.
So made him to go to a different port. And and the reason he didn't tell any of the scabbards was because he suspected that one of those 9 is the traitor. So that's why that's why they all show up confused, basically. And nobody gave them a warning because Law's trying to flush out the mole, I suppose. I really like that theory. I actually love that theory. But I don't know if that's the way it is or if that's the incident that occurred, because the incident sounded something pretty ominous. So I don't know. What do you think?
I like that theory. I think it's pretty likely that one of the scabbards might be the traitor. Mm-hmm. I'm still, for example, I think Kanjuro is like one of the people that are like pretty far up my list. Mm-hmm. I mean, Shinobu is like a candidate, but at the same time, it would be kind of not impactful enough for me if it was her, you know? But yeah, I like the theory a lot. The only thing is, do you feel like Luffy is someone who you could tell, oh, don't tell Kinemon, like, we have to figure out who the traitor is?
Oh, yeah, that's actually, Luffy would have spilled it right away. Like Kinemon, are you the traitor?
Like, by now, I feel, since Whole Cake Island, or like over the course of the New World, Luffy has started to become a little bit more serious in some situations, especially I feel like having witnessed what can happen if you take everything too lightly at Sabaody, I feel like some things he's taking more seriously now.
Yes.
But it's still
Luffy, yeah.
Yeah, it still feels like something that would really go against his
It's possible that Law had to trick Luffy too.
Yeah.
Which is also not that hard.
Just tie him down.
Yeah. All right, Luffy, we're all meeting at this port. What? Okay.
Yeah. What do you, when I'm looking at the questions also on Twitter, first of all, thanks so much for all your questions once again. We're like, by now it's really hard to go into all of them because it's getting a really long list of questions we're getting now. Thank you so much for that. Also, since we haven't said it so far in this Wano Report, make sure to follow us on Twitter.
Ooh, yes. I actually got a lot of Twitter followers last time off of that.
Oh, so. Yeah, true. Me too, I think, actually. Yeah. So, but we still need more.
We need more.
So
a lot more.
So, make sure to follow us. The links are in the description below, but you can find Mr. Morjman at Mr. Morjman. At Morjman. Oh, I know that now. And me at Ohara the Fox. But coming back to the questions, what do you think about Roger? Because, I mean, that was kind of like also almost the bigger part of the chapter in a way, at least. So I think it was the first time, like, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was the first time we actually ever got to see a scene on the ship, which wasn't just like a still panel with some text over it.
There was chapter 0. Have you ever? Yes. So there was chapter 0 where they saw Shiki. So that's the one thing. But I will say, so actually after each chapter, now I'm trying to think of like ways to do. My goal is basically after each chapter, I want to do like one quick video on like a small topic of this off the chapter. And I couldn't really pick one for this chapter because I didn't have a good theory at the time. Right. I didn't really know what to talk about. But one thing I wanted to talk about was Roger. So maybe I'll just talk about it here. And what was cool about Roger was that like you said, this is probably the first time, I guess on the ship, maybe not the first time, but this is the first time we've seen Roger in day-to-day, everyday life, what he was like. Because other times, all of the other times we've seen Roger have been kind of cool moments or significant, like maybe he's sitting with Whitebeard and talking about the will of D, or telling Rayleigh that he's not going to die, or obviously his execution moment, or telling Shiki that, you know, I refuse to work with you. Like, they're all cool, like, significant, but they're all significant, significant moments. I should just not say that one. Yeah, they're significant moments. It's kind of seeing him as the legend he was. But this was the first time this is the first time we got to see, you know, Roger the dude, like what Roger was on. Oh yeah, was like on the ship, and I don't know. That's really cool. What I like is he's not exactly like Luffy. He's a little different. He's kind of more aggressive and rowdy than Luffy a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Like more into alcohol and like he's more like a real kind of like the pirate cliche in a way, like the good pirate cliche.
Yeah, the jolly good pirate kind of.
Like, I don't know about you, but I think it's really fascinating. Maybe it's me, since I'm like so open to Oda storytelling. But for me, just those, I think it was like 3 or 4, like 2.5 pages or something. Yeah. For me, there was so much personality in those pages. I felt like I got a lot out of that. I don't know how you felt about that.
I would have loved to have gotten a full chapter of basically just Roger and Odin on the ship. And it could have had no significant plot stuff. I would have been just happy to see it. Yeah.
That would have been dope. For example, I love the dynamics that Shanks and Buggy had, especially since I'm finishing up my Buggy video. Like, that was something that...
Dude, how's that going?
That was actually... You know what? That is... like writing the script and doing the research, that was fun. Like, it didn't go in the direction that I expected it to go.
I don't even know what direction it would go. So I'm actually very interested to see that one.
I'm curious how people are going to think about that. It's very different, definitely, from just talking about a Straw Hat, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Otherwise, what is interesting, I think in the official translation that I read that earlier, ODEN actually says that he wants to go back to Wano and wait for the future that is going to come in 20 years from now.
Yeah.
So I think that wasn't in the...
It was weirdly phrased in the other... Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I think that's actually a pretty interesting detail. And like those 20 years, like that was already something in my review that I thought was kind of weird. What do you think about that? Like, it sounds like ODEN knew that he wouldn't be the one to free Wano right now. And he kind of like prepared everything for Luffy, if that makes sense, or for Momo.
That's interesting. And that's very Roger-esque, basically. It right? Is. That's very Roger-esque. I don't know. It's hard to... Because, so there's that Shuten Maru chapter, or whatever you want to call him. There's that chapter where he talks about how all the samurai sailed off to Onigashima and basically died. And in that chapter, he, Kinemon, and Inuarashi are saying... Like, they're all talking about why did it take 20 years? I'm sure... And they say by the end of it, I'm sure we'll find out. So at the time, I was thinking, okay, so 20 years, that must have been intentional. And I assumed that basically at the time of Oden's death, I don't know, Toki or whoever figured out, okay, 20 years from now, they'll be able to do this again, for whatever reason. But this was really weird, because it was like, even before Kaido arrived and decided to ravage the land and everything like that, even before that, ODEN had already figured out that 20 years is how long it's going to take for this stuff to happen. So I just, dude, I don't have a good theory. I just thought it changed my view of the 20-year gap in the first place, and that it was intentional, but not just intentional because of Kaido. It's been intentional for a while. So yeah,
and I think that's really, really interesting. I mean, Toki in general is, I think, one of the most fascinating characters right now.
You're gonna have to repeat that one more time.
Oh, I just said that Toki, I think, is one of the most fascinating characters right now. Like, we know nothing about her, but like, it sounds... It's very likely that she might be someone from the Void Century, and...
I hope so. I really hope
There's a lot of opportunity there, I think, and a lot of... I definitely want to know... I can't wait to find out more about that. What do you think is the reason that we still get the silhouette for ODEN? Do you think it's because he might still be alive, or is it that like we've seen him somewhere else before, or that he looks like someone we know? I know there's a lot of like thoughts going around.
Dude, I don't know. I don't think the silhouette's that significant, actually. In my mind, it's kind of just that because Oden's such a hyped character in Oda's mind, I think, or he's so excited to draw ODEN, I feel like he's just saving it for the actual backstory, and that when the backstory starts, Oda wants to finally reveal Oda, because I think he's just really excited about this character, and he doesn't want to just introduce him simply in...
Casually?
Yeah, kind of casually, and, oh, this is a quick flashback, here's a look at ODEN, here's a quick flashback.
But then, for example, I mean, we already had some flashbacks with ODEN, right? And like, personally...
In my mind, those are quick flashbacks, so like little glimpses. So I feel like he's just saving it for a more dramatic reveal when it's...
You think?
That's my feeling. I'm just not reading too much into it, but I could totally see something like, dude, people have been talking about Ryukogyu, like Green Bull, being ODEN. So I mean, I don't know. I already think Fujitora is from Wano, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's another thing. I also read that in the questions. Yeah, Fujitora. We can talk about that in a second. The only thing I would still want to say is, for me, I feel if it was simply for the hype of drawing ODEN, I think Oda could have had a great introduction chapter already, for example, on Zou, when it was about his death, like when they talked about his death. Why not just draw him then and then like make a chapter about that? I don't necessarily say that like your version isn't probable, because I think it's very likely that Oda just says, oh, I want to save that for the big, like when the whatever climax he wants to reveal that at, and just like save the look and the hype about that. But I feel, to me personally, it feels a little bit more deliberate than that.
No, so... I could totally see. I think if I was... So this is one of those things where I don't know. Let's say I'm in the community and reading other people's comments and thoughts and stuff like that.
Right.
that shapes my view somewhat differently. Because I know if I was reading by myself, I just wouldn't think about the silhouette much. But then it's interesting to see how people think about things differently, because when you're part of the community, then you see so much talk about the silhouette. And I don't know, it's just some things occur to some people as, there's more to it than that, and other things, you just read on your own basically and don't think about it. So that just might be me. I have no idea, but the fact that so many people think that there is something to it might mean that I'm just like overlooking it for no real reason. So I don't know, dude. I feel like, I don't, because the first time we got that silhouette thing of Oden was during Yasue's flashback. And I feel like Oda might not have wanted to distract too much from Yasue by having a full page spread of Oden. But you're right, he could have just done that back in Zou, or when he first had the Straw Hats listen to Kinemon about Oda. Yeah, there's just other possibilities. So I don't know. I don't have a good reason. I don't know if Oda just doesn't want to focus on Oden the man just yet. So we'll see.
I'm just curious about, like, I really just want to see his backstory, no matter if he's still alive or not. I think this is the pretty cool.
Most hyped backstory in One Piece so far, besides Roger. So Roger's number one by default, but
oh yeah, man,
Oden's
What do you think? Like, for example, what about Oden's dad, Sukiyaki? Do you think do you want to learn something about him, or is it like I don't really care? Or for example, like leading a little bit into the whole Isho thing, like do you think that Fujitora, for example, might be Oden's father or something? And he actually, like, one thing I had in my mind is like the thing he actually saw is his son getting executed.
Yeah. So I think we touched on this last podcast. I definitely think that Fujitora, in my mind, I'm in my headcanon, Fujitora is the Shogun till we find out otherwise about what happened to the Shogun and stuff. Because
so Sukiyaki basically.
Yes. Think? Yeah. I wish I knew Japanese, because then I would know what Sukiyaki means, and if
do you want me to tell you?
What does Sukiyaki mean?
Sukiyaki is hot pot. It's pretty.
Oh wait, really? Yeah. Oh, that just makes sense, because Oden
is also hot pot.
Oden's are noodles, right? Something like that?
Oden is also like it's something you eat in winter. But it's two different kinds of hot pot. It's pretty good, both of them. Sukiyaki is amazing, actually.
What's Momonosuke?
Momonosuke, so Momo is peach, and Suke is just like Momotaro. Boy. So I think it's like the peach boy or something. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I think Wano is everything with food. All the regions.
Ringo is
right? Apple.
Oh, never mind. Hakuma is rice then. Hakuma is rice. Yeah,
I think so. And curry is chestnut. I think.
Never mind. That was wait, what about Isho?
Actually, not sure about that.
Okay, that's the one I want. Ryukogyu, you know that?
Yeah, that is Green Bull.
Oh, literally. Duh, I forgot. No, we don't know his name yet. All right, whatever. One thing though is that I don't know if Ryukogyu would be Green Bull, because like it's clear that Sengoku and Akainu know who Oden was, right? They both talk about, wasn't there that pirate named Oden? So it'd be kind of odd if they just hire him and then look at the bounty poster and we're like, nah,
also I feel like that would be kind of weird, because that would kind of have to imply that there has to be some amnesia thing going on again.
But with like a lot of people.
So I'm not
with Oden. He's just not in Wano for some reason.
And also I genuinely, like, while I really like in the big world of One Piece, I definitely like for example, I would like the idea that we have seen Oden somewhere before, no matter if he's alive or dead, that he's someone we know. Like, I think that's cool when someone who maybe seemed unimportant at first becomes more significant later on. Yeah. But at the same time, for example, with Green Bull, I'm kind of also more hyped to really get a proper new character.
Dude, yeah.
Like, sometimes you just want to have new characters in a story that are still hype. So,
100% agree. 100% agree. Although Green Bull, so Green Bull is kind of the oddest out of the new big character. What I mean is basically like Fujitora. Okay, when the admirals were drafted, right? New admirals were drafted.
Yeah.
It was kind of, okay, where did they find admiral level characters lying around? Wano, like Isho being from Wano kind of makes sense, because we know how strong Wano samurai are, and if Isho, like Oden was able to cut Kaido, for example. So if Isho's that caliber of samurai, maybe the Shogun, like we're speculating, that would make sense. Okay, they were able to draft an admiral level guy from there. But Ryukogyu, that's a hard one, because it's just, where did they get this dude? Like, did they get two guys from Wano, or where did they find an admiral level dude lying around? Which is really interesting. He's not from Melback, he's not a giant. I don't know. It's interesting.
Such a fun thought, though, to think that there's just like these random
the monsters.
super strong people running around the One Piece world. Which actually, if you think about, like, obviously it matters how much you train your devil fruit and how well versed you are with it. But at the same time, there are just, like, for example, devil fruits that are so strong. Like, Fujitora is probably, especially if it's from Wano, he's probably a super good swordsman in general. But his devil fruit is so crazy.
Really, really strong. It's really, really strong.
Even if that guy, like, didn't know how to fist fight, it would still...
Yeah, he could just be a nobody.
He could literally be, like, have no arms, and he would still be pretty strong.
He's got no eyes. So, yeah.
He got no eyes, but he has pretty good observation hockey, probably.
Pretty good observation. He's got okay arms.
So there. Let me see, what else do we have question-wise? One question. Well, we have a lot of questions about rocks again.
This is the Wano Report number 12, by the way. I'm looking at your tweet. Yeah, continue.
Oh, thank you. We knew that. We was just testing you.
Okay.
To be fair, though, I think we're every week we're confused with the number. So maybe we can touch on that a little bit. Rocks, if you want to.
Okay.
Do you think? Well, since I think we didn't get into that so much last chapter or last episode. So what do you think is the relationship between Rocks and Blackbeard? Because we know that Blackbeard's ship is called the Sebek as well. At the same time, I feel it wouldn't make so much sense, because then why would he be called Teach and not Sebek himself? Or Rocks?
Actually, you probably don't want to highlight, if you're a pirate, you probably don't want to highlight that you're related to the second most infamous pirate of all time, probably.
Well,
I don't know.
I guess, but then, like, why call Luffy Monkey?
Oh, true. Yeah, wait. What? No, I don't know if people knew that Dragon's full name is Monkey D. Dragon at the time. Because people didn't know about his connection with Monkey D. Garp. So, but then people didn't pick up on Monkey D. Luffy being related to Monkey D. Garp. So, I don't know. People are just not aware of... There's no internet in the One Piece world. Probably. People just have to read the news and
or maybe that's just like a
that.
Very common name. Monkey, maybe it's like Smith.
Wait, I'm a little... No, okay, we gotta get through these questions. I was gonna just talk about how certain names work in One Piece or whatever, or if that's just a Japanese thing or whatever, but we do only have, I guess, 8 or 9 minutes before we gotta go do that other thing. Yeah,
yep.
Because we're very important people who have a lot of talk shows to be on. We are, gotta be on our own. Gotta go do
no time
Australian talk show
for our own product.
Yeah. Yep. We can do rapid fire, I guess. Wait, so what do you think? Do you think he's his son or inherited will?
I like to think neither.
Oh, just random? Just not random, but...
I don't think random. I think that Blackbeard took Sebek maybe as an inspiration. Similar as maybe Luffy took Roger as an inspiration. But I'm like... Okay, well, when we talk about inherited will, like, when I read that, I feel if people say that Blackbeard inherited the will of Sebek, that kind of implies that Luffy inherited the will of Roger. Correct me if I'm wrong. For me, that's not the case. I think Luffy has his own will to a certain degree. Like, obviously he's inspired by Roger, since Roger inspired the Great Pirate Era. But Luffy's idea of the One Piece, I think, is, or of being the Pirate King, is different from Roger's dream of being the Pirate King. Correct me if I'm wrong, or correct me if
I'm just thinking differently. Because Roger didn't have a dream of being the Pirate King either.
At least we don't know. At least we don't know.
For example.
So, or at least yeah.
It depends, because inherited will isn't... So, for example, Chopper and Hero Look, right? So that's really direct. So Chopper wanted to do exactly what Hero Look wanted to do, because Hero Look's will kind of passed straight down to Chopper. I remember from that chapter. So
you mean so it's not Roger, it's Shanks? His will from, or...
Well, it's kind of just like inherited will can be vaguer than that. So that's like, so Chopper and Hero Look is like a really hard example. It's like clear, like Chopper wants to do that,
right?
And then Luffy and Roger, it's not like Roger had Luffy in mind or something like that. It's just that there is a certain will that's being passed down over time. The will of D overall, I suppose, and
exactly,
there is somebody who is eventually going to carry that out, and that is ultimately Luffy. But it's not like Luffy's. Yeah, it's not like Luffy's intent or anything like that I have to do exactly what Roger wanted done.
No,
or Roger's,
for sure.
So that's what So I agree in a sense with what you're saying.
Well, yeah. Like, I think the will of D kind of sums it up pretty well. That there is this, like, the inherited will. I took it, or the will of D, basically, I took it as to be more of a character trait rather than a direction. Like, I think the will of D is not finding the One Piece. The will of D is more like a set of personality traits, like being independent, being free, striving for freedom, like something in that direction. But like, I think if at all, it's something that all Ds share.
Yeah. That those sort of same traits.
Yeah. And
I will say that there is like a direction that it's leading to, because, for example, like Law and like Corazon talked about, like it seems like the ultimate direction is the fall of the gods. From what he was telling Law, for example, back in the alley.
So they're the natural enemies of the gods.
So there is a direction and everything. And I assume that was the direction that Roger's story was heading towards till the disease cut it off. So Luffy seems to be the spiritual successor. So there is just a general larger will that's being inherited in my mind, but it's not like Luffy's intent to be like, oh, I want to follow this will of... He doesn't even know about that. Whereas and Blackbeard, like you're saying, it might be the same thing. Like, it's not like he's thinking, oh, I have to pick up Rox's will, but maybe his goal just happens to align with the same sort of will that Rox was following.
For sure. I agree.
So, it depends. We'll find out more. Because his ship is called the Saber of Zebek, so some part is intentional.
So he definitely has him, like, he definitely is focused on him or inspired by him in some way or form.
Some way, unless it's like a random... No, there's no way you're like, I'm going to name it Saber of Zebek, and you have no idea what the Saber of Zebek
is. There's a dude that was called that.
Okay. I like that.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good point to slowly bring this to an end. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed it, even if it was a little bit shorter. I think it was better than nothing this week.
Yes.
So thanks for joining me, Morj.
For sure.
We're heading over to our next appointment.
Yep.
As always, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button. Check out Mr. Morj if you haven't already. You will see, or as you will have noticed, I kind of rebranded this podcast a little bit, or we did, to make it a little bit more appealing to more people. Definitely share your thoughts about that. We're interested in what you think about that. Otherwise, follow us on Twitter. And we hope to see you guys, or you guys see us again next time. Bye.
All right, peace. Bye.